Welcome to the Think Small podcast, hypergrowth for small businesses. So, what's slowing you down?
Well, hi again, everybody. This is Rob Godlewski with the Think Small podcast. And today our guest is Aun Raza with Stella Technology. Aun, welcome to the Think Small podcast.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. So tell us about Stella Technology. What kind of business is it and what type of problems do you solve for your customers?
Yep, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. And yes, Stella Technology is a digital health IT company. So what we do is we basically build digital health applications and products. So we are also a product-based company. We do have our own healthcare products, which we have developed specially for emerging markets. And by emerging markets, I mean markets outside of United States. So we have EMR, electronic medical record, and we have health information exchange products that we are marketing and deploying outside of US, mainly in Middle East, Africa, and this part of the world. So these products really connect with our company vision, and our company vision and mission is that we want to make healthcare accessible and affordable for everyone in the world, because we strongly believe that healthcare is a fundamental human right. So along those lines, we have built these products that are basically enabling digitalization in multiple areas of the healthcare. Along with that, one big portion of our business is that we provide our healthcare expertise to other companies as well. So if some company need to develop a cutting edge healthcare product or application, they can contact us, and we have been working with more than 1 dozen companies in United States, and we have been building digital health products for them. So a little bit more on digital health. It's a very complex field in terms of developing applications. There are a lot of complexities involved under the hood as well. It is not like a typical software development field or domain, where if you are building a typical software development company, if you have a typical software development company, all you need is the right skill set around programming languages, tools, framework, databases, or cloud computing. But healthcare goes one level deep as well. In order to build healthcare application and products, you need to know all these emerging engineering technologies, but you need to understand the complexities of healthcare ecosystem as well, because ultimately your piece of code is responsible for someone's life. You are responsible for taking care of the health of the people, and there are a lot of complexities in healthcare that not every company understands. So that's why we are a healthcare only company. We do not work in any other area, because we believe that healthcare is such a sensitive field that it needs our undivided attention and our experience in that area. So we have been operating since 2012, and we have built a big team. We are around 200 people all across the world. So as I was mentioning that although we are a US based company, but we are serving a big customer base in Middle East, Africa, and other part of the world. So we have our offices in Dubai as well, and we have our offices in South Asia as well, because we need to serve to the needs of our customer. And this is a little bit about Stella Technology, its history. Our founders have decades of experience working in healthcare. Previously, before founding Stella Technology, our founders were working in many different healthcare companies, and then they came with a lot of experience of this complex domain. So this is us, and we are on our journey to transform healthcare using digitalization, and we are building cutting edge products not only for ourselves but our clients as well.
Very interesting. So these products that you're offering your customers, are they proprietary products that you've developed,
Yeah.
or are you serving more as a managed service provider for other products in the market?
Yeah, so both. We do have a couple of our own products that we deploy as software as a service model, and we have the ownership and intellectual property of those products, and our customers sign up on those, and they use those products on monthly subscriptions. But
Okay.
as you said, we also serve a big customer base where we are developing products for them, but these products are not our property. They are the intellectual property of our customers, and we develop those products as per requirements and needs of our customer. So we do have custom software development services for healthcare, but we also have our own products that we have deployed in Middle East and Africa and other part of the world.
Very interesting. So on having started the business in 2012, clearly you've seen times not only of rapid growth, but potentially even maybe some when times when sales plateaued or even contracted.
Right.
So first, let's talk about those times when sales plateaued or contracted. Tell us about that time and how you helped navigate the business through those challenges.
Yep, it's a great question. So yeah, I think I remember in my experience, if we talk about two big shifts that happened, the very first one was definitely COVID. During COVID, we had a mix of experience. We saw that a certain portion of our skill set or certain portion of our products were completely wiped out. No one was in demand of those, especially all those services where you need to provide human to human interactions or coordination. Those kind of services or those kind of offering were no longer in use, and we saw that part of business really impacted in a negative way. But at the same time, since we work in digital health, we also saw growth in terms of adoption of more and more of virtual technologies. So we are also a company who used to work on telehealth platforms even before COVID hit, and they were not great attraction to telehealth before COVID. But all of a sudden, during COVID, we saw that now everyone is in demand of telehealth. There are a lot of companies who are looking to transition to that medium, and even clinicians who are very skeptical of using virtual medium of care, or who are very skeptical of using video, they started to onboard on telehealth or video mode of care more frequently. So during
Mhm.
COVID, we saw both. We saw that the business, a portion of business was impacted negatively, but also a portion of business picked up its pace too. So a big learning for us was that even you can always be open to adopting to the challenging situation and changing situation. I think this can be a key lesson for every company, that in their growth, in their journey, there will be time when one segment of their business or maybe the entire business will start to go downhill. But this is where you need to, as a leader, you really need to revisit your strategies, you really need to revisit your plans, and you have to improvise and pivot as per the needs of the time. And the second time I would really like to highlight is, I think we are going through that, we are passing through that time, the way artificial intelligence is coming more and more into every walk of our life. We are seeing again the same sort of impact. There is a big portion of jobs that is being replaced. There is big portion of our job responsibilities that have been taken over by either bots or AI based tools or automation agents. But at the same time, I think there is an immense potential for all of us to grow and use artificial intelligence as something that can be helpful to us. So this is where we are again making another transition as a company and growing ourselves, that we are doing our best to not only empower our workforce with the latest technologies, but we are also investing more and more into research and development. And our research and development is also focused for our customers, but it is also focused for our people as well, because we have been big believer that if you have a strong workforce and if you have a workforce that is very much aligned with your company culture, that workforce can get through with you during tough or difficult times. So that's why we were able to survive during COVID, because when we were making the pivot to more and more virtual care and more telehealth products, our workforce, in even in that uncertain time, they remain committed to the company and they helped us navigate that challenging time. And the similar thing we are also noticing right now, that with AI, there is, of course, a panic in everyone, that not sure what is going to happen with their future job roles. But we are navigating this situation with the help of our workforce, because they believe that the company is going to invest in them, in upskilling them, reskilling them, and making them more and more effective for this challenging future. So yeah, in short, Rob, I would say that these two are key times when we were also scared, we were also worried what is going to happen. But at the same time, I think it is the leadership mindset that really drives companies through tough time, through challenging time. And if the mindset of the leadership is that if they are really focused on upskilling, reskilling, and retaining their people, I think any company can survive through tough situations and they can thrive after that.
So yeah, I know AI is impacting literally every business in industry, every industry vertical out there. But I have also heard on some news reports that the medical industry is probably the one that AI will most drastically affect.
Right.
So not only are you dealing with the impact of AI on your customers' behalf, but it's got to be impacting your own company's thoughts on growth and employment, et cetera. How are you managing the impact of AI in your own business within Stella Technology?
Right. Thank you. It's a great point, and thank you for sharing that insight. So you're right in pointing it out that healthcare is on the forefront of being impacted by artificial intelligence, and in a, I would say, generally speaking, in a good way, because the all those advancements that's happening via I think they are really going to improve the quality of care that is being provided, because there are every all the clinicians are now adopting such tools that are helping them with administrative side of things or the operational side of things. Yes, there is still little bit of concerns, or I would say there's still little bit of care that is being taken into account by clinician when they are using AI for purely for clinician or physician or medical purposes, because they are not 100% trusting on AI. They are still keeping human in loop for that kind of decisions, which I think is a great approach. But what they are doing is they're using AI for administrative and operational side of their job very effectively.
Mm.
It's really helping medical professionals with that burnout challenge that used to happen a lot, and I think it's still out there. But I think the that side of AI is really helping clinicians and medical professional reduce the amount of burnout they feel, because now a lot of the hectic work, a lot of the documentation or the kind of work they don't used to enjoy is being done by AI and all these sort of automation tools. At the same time, the industry in which Stella Technology is operating, there is, generally speaking, a big panic in the workforce, because they see that the work they used to do uh, in the whole week, now there are AI agents that are doing the similar work in, but in a better quality in maybe in a day or maybe in matter of hours. So there is
Right.
definitely a sense of fear, a sense of uncertainty in the engineering workforce. And the way we are trying to mitigate and trying to deal with that is we are empowering our people to use as many AI tools as they can as part of their job. Of course, we are also keeping a little bit of guardrails on top of that tools as well, because the area in which we operate, we have to be very much careful about the privacy of customers' data and sensitivity of data. So we are empowering our workforce to start using tools. We are giving them trainings on the mindset of adapting to the changing circumstances. But at the same time, we are helping them understand this narrative that these tools are not going to replace you. All these things are going to actually improve your productivity. You will be able to accomplish a lot more in lot less time, and then you can focus more on things that truly matters for human, which we believe is a work-life balance is one such thing. Taking care of your own physical and mental health and your family members and your friends is another thing. So we are really bringing this mindset into the company, that start using tools that you feel are productive for you, but at the same time keep a supervision on top of that tools, the work these tools are doing. You should have good understanding of the type of code that is being written by AI. If you have to go in and troubleshoot, you should feel empowered enough to troubleshoot that piece of code. And at the same time, you should also have this understanding that if AI has automatically updated something, you should be able to go and validate that. So we are empowering our workforce to use AI for the sake of improving their productivity and saving their time.
Yeah, I'm so glad you touched on that. There's so many CEOs I speak with in this Think Small podcast that are addressing the impact of AI, not only in their own business, but in their customers or their clients' business. But they're focusing on the human impact of AI, and they're using the AI as a tool, not as a destination. And they're
Yeah.
using that AI to improve the efficiency and effectiveness of their employees, and not looking at it as a cost savings effort, right? In being able to reduce the employee headcount. The folks on this podcast it's a completely different message than what we all hear on the newscasts at night, right? That are usually more focused on the negative impact of AI. But I'm really glad to hear you say that you're working with your customers on efficiency and effectiveness and not replacement.
Yeah, if I may add to that, because I think
Absolutely.
this is very important, Rob, that we as a leader should really look at this from not from cost saving perspective, but
Right.
also from the perspective of making an impact. So let me give you an example. So yeah, if one of our engineer is able to free his or her time using AI, I think there is a lot of potential, a lot of input that they can make in existing products or existing work they have done in like a year ago. So what they can do is, excuse me, what they can do is they can go back and they can visit the previous work they have done and they can improve that using AI. So that is going to be the very good use of uh, using your spare time that you have, instead of wasting it, or instead of leaders thinking about letting go somebody. So why not use your current force for your current assignments, but also have them improve what is already done before AI, or what was already done 2 or 3 years ago? Because now your workforce has the right bandwidth to go back, look at this from a different perspective, make the tweaks, make the optimization, and even improve the existing systems or existing use cases with the help of AI. So we don't need to look at this from reducing the headcount in our companies. We really need to look at this, that now with the same headcount, we will be able to deliver 5 times or 10 times more products, more applications, more results. But at the same time, now we have that bandwidth available in our team, that we can also revisit some of our work we have done 5 years ago or 10 years ago. And our current workforce can really optimize that, can modernize that, and can even migrate legacy to the modern platforms without investing a single more dollar, because it's the same workforce that has more bandwidth to focus on many other things. So the potential is unlimited. I think instead of just looking at the cost side of things, we should really look at making an impact with this. And of course, this is when AI will truly shine in all of our lives.
So we've talked about kind of two times when market conditions, I'll say, negatively impacted your revenue growth. One was COVID. The other is clearly right now with the impact of AI. But Talk to us about a period when there was rapid growth, right? Very big expansion of revenues in the company. Tell us when that was and how you managed the business through that. Because as we know, expanding revenue, lends itself to a whole different set of challenges and problems that
Yeah.
that sales contraction
Right.
brings up. So tell us about that period.
Thank you. Great question, Rob. So I believe, I strongly, in my experience, I have also seen that an unplanned expansion kills more companies than challenges. We always think that it's typically challenges that kill companies. But at the same time, in my little experience, I've also seen that when you are growing and you have more revenue coming in, what a lot of companies, mid-size or small-size companies do is they go on a big expansion plan, and once the business then contracts, they end up being in very deep trouble. So this is where one of my key learning is that we, as a part of our growth, we have been very careful with expansion and growth. We are really people centric company, and we have followed this approach that we don't hire people uh, purely on the basis of business need. So if we hire people purely on the business, on the basis of business need, then when market fluctuates, or if a tough time is there, or if a good time is there, companies are usually hiring fast, and they are also firing people fast. So we our philosophy have been that we are very careful with hiring people, but we make sure that the people we bring on board, we should have enough projects, enough resources, and enough revenue to keep them on board for at least foreseeable future. And that's
Mm.
why we invest more and more in our people learning, growth, bringing them up to speed, always keeping them up to speed, because we see at our people as our asset. We believe that it's not human resources; these are human assets. If we look at this from this perspective, we really have to take care of people. So even during the time when business is booming, we are getting more and more projects, and we are growing in terms of revenue. We were able to survive that time with the current workforce as well. As I was saying, that we were able to survive two key moments, two key phases when business was going down with the same workforce. We were also able to thrive in the brilliant time with the same workforce as well, because
Mm.
we brought people with this mindset that we are going to take care of you as a family, we are going to take care of you as a tribe. But there will be time when business will be growing, and you will have to work extra hour to meet the growing needs of our customers. But yes, there might be times when business will not be doing so great, and at the same time we all will have to stick together to get through that. So in good times, yeah, there will be bonuses, there will be extra pays, there will be overtime. But if business is not growing well, then you may expect some cuts, you may expect some more than usual unpaid time off, and things like that. So in times when business was growing, our philosophy was the same, that we have to go ahead with doing more projects with the same workforce, because our workforce was taking on more and more projects. But I believe that if you really develop a workforce with this mindset, that they really feel secure at their job, they don't feel that the company will depend on XYZ factor to keep them around. For example, business or things that may happen, that may be companies not in company's control. So at the moment you impact the psychological safety of your group, I think this is where you become just like another company in the market. But we invested more in the psychological safety of our group in our good times and in our bad times, and this has really paid off. So I would say that even in the best of our times, we have been able to deliver more because our people went extra mile during that time. And when business impacted or suffered negatively, the same group was there to support us during that transition as well.
Yeah. Wow. So instead of quick to hire, quick to fire, you actually took the opposite approach in times of growth, and that was slow to hire, slow to fire. On, I really like your approach. You're a technology company. You have the word technology in your brand name, and you focus so much on the human impact of your business. I really appreciate that. I think our podcast audience would appreciate that approach as well. So let's look then at the future, right? What does the next, say, 3 to 5 years look like for Stella Technology? I mean, clearly you're in the heart of the medical in the healthcare space, and you're in the heart of technology with AI implementations, et cetera. What does growth look like for you in the next 3 to 5 years?
Great. So we measure ourselves by the impact we make in patient's life, not only from a doctor lens, but through technology lens. So we have a good measure of how many patients are using the platforms we have built, how many doctors are using the platforms that we have built. And we dream of a connected ecosystem in healthcare, because no matter how great our products are, they're not going to make a huge impact unless and until they are connected with many other systems in the world. So for example, if the product we have, that product is really going to make a good impact if for example, let's say if that product is purely focused for a clinic, for an outpatient clinic. But in order to really provide a good care to the patients, our product should be able to connect with pharmacies as well. It should be able to pull data from laboratories as well. It should be able to display data of different diagnostics as well. So healthcare is a complex ecosystem, and there are many entities, many other systems available. So if you are able to connect all those systems together and you are able to make them talk to one another, I think this is where the real impact comes in. So instead of being a solo player, or instead of being a star player in one field, we are trying our best to become a part of ecosystem and basically create a community or ecosystem of healthcare tools and platform that work together. And in this way, it is going to help improve the quality of care overall. So this is what we are inspired to achieve, that we want to make healthcare more interoperable. We should be able to connect with more and more systems. We should be able to create a one big unified ecosystem where access to healthcare should be easy. So for example, if you as a patient should be able to, no matter where you are, if you are traveling, if you are in your home state, or if you are in a different geography, you should be able to access your health data, you should be able to access your health record, and you should be able to use your healthcare data wherever you want. So this is where we are going more and more. So we are not only enabling our systems to be more to be able to exchange data more, or to be able to exchange insights more, we are also connecting with other entities. We are also working with many big players in these markets, and trying to connect a well-defined, interconnected community of healthcare. So this is the goal, and that's where we are focusing our energies for the near future.
Wow. So I can see where your technology, as you say, you want to measure your growth and your impact by the engagement of physicians, clinicians, et cetera. I can see where that would be relatively easy to track. Are you tracking the patient engagement through, I'm guessing, logins into your technology?
Yes. That's
Okay.
one. And I would also like to talk about another area which we are also passionate about and working towards, is social determinant of health. Uh, Social determinant of health are actually non-medical factors that impact the health care of a certain population. So let me give you an example that, for example, if in one particular area there is no access to clean drinking water, so it is quite obvious that people in that particular area will have more and more disease. So what used to happen is that all those folks will come to the hospital, doctor will look at them, doctors will treat them, they will give them medicine or they will give them any prescription. Patient will use those medicine, they will recover, but after 1 week or after 1 month, they will be again in the hospital, because the problem is not the medical conditions, it's not the medicine, but it's actually the clean drinking water. So we call it social determinant of health. All those factors who impact the healthcare of a certain population, but they are not medical. So we have also built solutions around this. So what we have been doing is that we have solutions that are basically connecting all the social services agency in one country or one region under one platform. And as I said that we are trying to connect hospitals with other systems. So what we are also trying to do is that you as a doctor should be able to see that this patient is coming again and again to the hospital and he or she is not recovering. We are just giving them some temporary relief. The true care is that we need to make sure that this patient gets access to clean drinking water. So once they have access to clean drinking water, the underlying medical condition will go away. So using the social determinant of health solutions we are building, doctors are able to refer those patients to the relevant social agencies. It may be an agency that is providing home services, shelters, clean drinking waters, refrigerations for medicine, and all those things. So in this way, the healthcare is really transitioning from a common mode to really value-based systems. So this is another area where we are really passionate and we are working towards making an impact.
That's incredible. So I can imagine where AI is really helping that journey in determining the social impact of healthcare, as you say, because not just can you ask one patient how is the quality of your drinking water, but you can gather hundreds of thousands of patients' information and
Right.
aggregate that and come up with better solutions as a healthcare provider. That's a
Yeah.
tremendous goal for you.
I think that's where the one of the big powers of AI is analysis or reporting. So
Right.
if you have access to a wide data set, you can create many different type of reporting, many different type of analysis, and then it is not only helpful to healthcare providers, it is also very useful to community organizations, to governments, to NGOs, and even to the welfare agencies as well, because now they know that in which particular area, what are the things they really need to invest more on, what are the top 10 pain points in those geographies and in those areas. So this is a dream that we really want to have a preventive healthcare system in terms of having access to better quality of data, having access to as wide spectrum of data as possible. But at the same time, investment should really go on underlying social factors that will eventually help a lot on reducing the burden from overall medical or healthcare systems.
Right. So, on kind of to wrap up this discussion, what kind of advice would you have for small and mid-sized businesses that are on the cusp of a big growth opportunity?
Yeah, I think I would refer back to what I said, that growth should be planned. I think ambitions are great, but growth should be planned. And I think one key advice from my end is that always make sure that you have enough contingency planning, because I think what we do is, as part of growth, we kind of keep move contingency to the back seat. So make sure you have enough contingency in terms of your funding. You make sure that you should be able to survive 6 months or 1 year without customer revenue, because you never know in what kind of situation you can run into. But at the same time, in my opinion, your people are the pillar for your company. So instead of investing on tools and buildings and infrastructure, I think the best investment is on people. So make sure you invest on your team and invest on your people.
I can't tell you how many of our podcast guests echo that sentiment, and that is focus on your people. Even though you're a technology company, you're focusing on the people and the human aspect of growing your business.
Right.
Aun, I can't thank you enough for joining us on the Think Small podcast today. Again, this was Aun Raza, President and Chief Operating Officer with Stella Technology. Aun, thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you for having me.
Welcome to the Think Small podcast, hypergrowth for small businesses. So, what's slowing you down?